Last video from the tales of an average gay CrossFitter. So this is for Hiller.
What's up?
Been watching your video now, I think for like an hour it feels like, and you're reviewing all the standards for, I guess, what are we talking about here? I guess the semifinals. And, you know, I keep up with your videos, so you're doing a great job. First of all, I'm not coming for you. Like, this is like a good thing.
Good thing sounds good. All right.
Starting to get a little boring.
Excuse me?
Boring?
Just a little bit boring. Because it's like, I liked when you like had like good like content where like you were like coming for people. And
Coming for people, eh? Okay.
me watching like you post like the standards and all that, it's not that exciting. But there is a plus to all of this. I do want to congratulate you. Is that you literally have your shirt off now in like most of your videos. So you have learned that we want to see you without your shirt on. Since, you know, everybody keeps talking about this gay agenda and all this stuff. And I know I made a previous video like literally 20 minutes ago about this, you know, like the gay agenda that everybody thinks like, this is why we watch you.
Oh, all right. Alex Gazan, Natty or not, here we go. Yo, these are really fun for me. It's been a long time since I've done one. The video is going to be about Alex Gazan and whether or not I think that she is natural. They're fun for me because I think that everybody comes into these with a certain perception, a bias, an opinion on whether or not they think somebody is using performance-enhancing drugs. And I put up a poll the other day. It's got 965 votes. I did this on my YouTube channel, and 68, 1% off from the perfect numbers, said that they believe that she is natural. 32% said that they did not think that she was natural. There is a Shin Gazan on here that says, she is my daughter-in-law. She is 100% natural. She started training with her dad at an early age. Some people might know the route in which I'm going to be going about this. Then there are a couple of people. Alex Willis, is that her? Ah, that might be her. Come on, yeah, I just noticed that. She responded, definitely not Natty. That's awesome, which means that she gets it. It's amazing to me the people that are going to go to such leaps and bounds to defend or go out and get certain individuals, because by all means, I got no proof.
I can't do it.
But I have opinions and I'm willing to state them.
We'll do it live.
And it's my job to try to give you guys so much evidence that I try to sway you, if you have an opinion, in the opposite direction. And now that I've read the Gazan comment, which says Alex Willis, that's her maiden name, is that right? The one that you have before you're married. And I'm also the one who went out and said that I think Tia Toomey is not or was not natural. Still believe that to this day. And how did I go about doing that? Well, I did exactly what Shane Gazan said.
Take some pictures, and I'll pay you.
Started trading at an early age with her dad, and that brings me to where I first encountered Alex Willis, Alex Gazan. It was actually Alexis, my fiance, who pointed her out to me. Do you see this chick who can bench this much weight? And I don't remember the exact time or the exact weight, but it was a lot of weight, and it was maybe a year and a half or two ago. And for a long time, I was at an affiliate and I worked with a bunch of gymnasts. We were on high-level teams and whatnot, and of all of those gymnasts, they were very, one, obviously strong, but two, not the strongest in the bench press. To when I would program workouts, it wasn't 135-95 like you would see on an Isabella or a Grace. It would be something like 135-80, because it was the amount of weight that I felt like the females were able to keep up with. If we were doing a workout on the bench press where the men were using 225 pounds, which is the same weight that they use in the NFL Combine, I would also then have the females not using 155, but maybe a 135, which would be the male 185 pound equivalent, just because if I were to give too much weight to my stable of athletes that were extremely talented, but for some reason all lacking in the bench press, maybe it's because of the gymnastics background, I don't know.
It doesn't matter!
But if one person has a weakness, you think that they need to work on that weakness. But if an entire group of people, and there was like 6 or 7 of them who are all not as strong in the bench press, maybe now I can reverse think that to think that was a programming mishap, Andrew. The female's upper body horizontal pressing wasn't as good, but I put that to the test with a bench press competition where I reached out to Alex Gazan and I wanted her to partake in it up against all of the men. It was 225 pounds for the men, 155 pounds for the women for reps. If I pull up that list, you'll see that Gabby McClelland is the individual who won that. She got what was it, 24 repetitions. In second place, it was Alex Gazan. I remember that she had to ask her coach if she could participate in this because when she bench presses, she gets incredibly sore, so she almost doesn't do it all that often anymore. Because there's something about the way that she's set up. Everyone's got something. Some people are born with amazing calves. I'm not one of them. But then when you see another person with amazing calves, you go, all right, I wonder what your dad's calves, maybe your mom's calves looks like. What is it that you do every day that allows you to get those calves? There's something about the way that Alex's shoulder is set, the way that her shoulders are broad. I've met her in person, and she's got this bone structure that when you look at her, you go, oh, you were kind of built to be this way, weren't you? And I'm going to get to that, but first I want to attack a comment section on Instagram, which I'm sure many of you have actually seen at this point. It's 40 comments deep, and I don't want to take the time to go through every single one of them, but you're going to get footnotes, and if you want, I'm going to throw them all on the screen. You can pause it and look and read them all over if you'd like. Alex Gazan puts up a video of her bench pressing 270 pounds. Now remember, about a year and a half or two ago, I remember she put up a video where she was punching something like 245, 250. It's a really heavy number, something that with my stable of females, I was not very accustomed to seeing, and it put up a giant red flag in my world. I go, oh, who's this chick who can bench a lot of weight? Do I think that she's using steroids? I gotta look into her a little bit. So I did just that, and I'm gonna tell you, again, at the end of the video, because I want you to watch the whole video, what I think. All right, this is the dumbest thing you're gonna see all day, but at the beginning of this, I brought up Brandon.
Maybe like work out while you're talking or something like that. I feel like you could get some more like subscribers. And this is, look again, this is just tales from an average great CrossFitter. But, you know, Fraser, come here, Fraser. My dog. Fraser. Hello. Fraser. He actually hates me.
And we just saw Alex bench 270 pounds, so I'm gonna make sure that I can do 275, and I'm gonna do it cold. You can see there's nothing set up over there, right? Nice. Why do one when you can do probably 10? Recovery.diet. Some chick. I actually haven't looked at her profile yet. I should probably do that, shouldn't I? Let's go see recovery.diet. 2,183 followers. She's got a whole bunch of letters in her name. CSCS, which means absolutely nothing. CPT, certified personal trainer, la-di-da. That's fantastic. Ha ha ha. All right, what I see here is an individual that I can tell while she is in good shape, has never pushed herself a day in her life. Really pushed herself. Like really pushed herself. And what I mean by this is I was on the CrossFit Facebook homepage and there was a post about eat these vegetables, eat these fruits, and try not to eat sugar. I go, oh cool, good content by CrossFit's Facebook page. And then right in there's a dietitian that tries to say, I never tell any of my clients to do this. Why would you set them up for failure by telling them to avoid sugar completely? You need to have a diet that's balanced. And then I just commented, well, I wouldn't want you to be my dietitian. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger that said the worst thing that you could be in life is average. And why would you want to work with a professional that is just advocating average? I want you to be the most average person you can be. Oh, you're not quite average yet? Let's strive for average. But I like the state of mind, which is if you're gonna shoot for the moon, you might as well, because even if you miss the moon, you're gonna end up in the stars. You heard that one before? By all means, if you're just gonna say, only eat vegetables and only eat fruits and don't eat any sugar, like refined sugar, carbohydrates, you know, that crap. And if you do have some sometimes, at least you are trying to be the best you could, and no one really expects you to be perfect.
That's why no one will remember your name.
Like Ben Bergeron says, have a piece of cake on your birthday.
No! God, please, no!
But you can just look at this chick and you know that she's probably in that camp of person which says, hey, we want you to be the most average of all ever and we don't even know what it's like to try hard. So her first comment on Alex Gazan's Instagram says, I really wish that we could be honest about steroid use in the industry. Probably think that she's talking about the fitness industry. She works out at a Lifetime, I know, because Lifetime completely ripped off the CrossFit model. Now they've got Alpha Fit at all of these places, and they're doing some sort of a mock-up of CrossFit stuff. I don't know why CrossFit doesn't come at them legally and say, hey, Alpha Fit, CrossFit, what are you trying to pull over here? And then Justin Kotler, her coach, the person that she had to actually reach out to say, hey, can I do this Andrew Hiller bench press competition, says, you couldn't be farther off in this instance. Keep hating though. Now, earlier in this video, I brought up how Alex Willis's, Gazan's YouTube is now comes in and she's already kind of lightheartedly saying, I'm on steroids, duh. Like, it's sarcastic, but she's playing into it a little bit. Justin Kotler, he took it a little bit personally. I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. 40 comments later, and we have an Andrew Hiller YouTube video. Recovery.diet, asking for honesty within fitness isn't hate. I'm sorry that you see it that way. I see it as deception.
Decepticons seem just as interested.
And I agree. When there's deception, there's deception. And I'm getting a little bit more flexible. I'm like able to like get this back hand up a little bit further. I don't know. I'm just stretching in my chair. Justin Kotler comes back saying that insinuating somebody who is exceptional of cheating is hypocritical and flat out mean. If you can't see that, then not sure what to tell you. Justin's like, ugh, I just really gotta get across the point that you suck. And I'm like, all right, he's digging himself in. Justin's like a freaking pit bull. Not my pit bull. My pit bull is a little baby. He's like the one that just bites on and won't let go. Especially a 21-year-old female, which you know nothing about. That's gonna be important because at this point I haven't done the research about her actual age, but she's 21, the year is 2023. That'll be important. Then recovery.diet comes in with, I'm just asking for honesty, but some old dude running to rescue a 21-year-old woman, that's pretty creepy. I have this thing about comments, and I really like to do it with Reddit when people say things about me and they come off as rude, brash. I usually just think that maybe they meant to put an emoji in there where it's a smiley emoji or a freaking sideways face emoji. Brings levity to the situation if there was meant to be levity in there. Clearly, there's a whole bunch of insinuating that they're angry at one another, and then this person throws off, that's pretty creepy, which means that she just doesn't know Kotler at all. If I were Kotler, I'd grab him by the head and I'd go, dude, she doesn't know anything about anything, just let it go.
It doesn't matter!
It's okay, some people just don't know, but Pitbull Kotler keeps on going. I'm her coach, get a clue. Okay. And then recovery.diet, maybe you don't know that she's on steroids. Maybe you should do your homework, hashtag creep. It's like, no, this person is just the dumbest idiot of all time. Anyone can claim to be a coach. It doesn't mean that they don't promote steroids. Again, I'm just asking for transparency within the industry. It's gross to think deception will get you more clients. I know CrossFit is full of enhanced individuals. Me! Recovery.diet should be coming after Andrew Hiller. Uh-oh, Ashley Kotler's joined the chat. I really hope you don't jump to these wild accusations with your patients. Otherwise, all those letters after your name are a disappointing waste to society. They are usually a giant waste to society. But that's my opinion. Justin Kotler's back. All right, you're name calling. Now, Justin, when people are name calling and they clearly don't even know that you're the coach of this athlete, which you have been for a long time, how can they determine whether or not they're natural? Go to their profile and see that they think that a heavy set of back squats for a woman is 135 pounds. It's not. I know it's not. I know you know it's not. When I was at the affiliate and I had a freaking 150 member client base, 80 of which were women, 40 of them were able to do 135 for 20 reps, no problem. And then they were able to rest 2 minutes and do it again. And then rest 2 minutes and do it again. And then run a mile under 8 minutes. These people just don't get it. Wait a minute, we're not done though. We're not done. The next thing that recovery.diet does is she comes after the Stephanie Bolivar, saying something about a family spreading lies about her, and if it doesn't stop, she'll have her attorney get involved, so don't threaten me or you'll be named in the libel suit as well. Anybody who throws around legal action on the internet in a comment section immediately gets thrown into the bucket of insane. You're crazy. My opinion, all right, just so you know, there you go. Caveat, my opinion is recovery.diet should spend more time doing freaking nutrition, diet, whatever work that this person does, and less time coming over to CrossFitters' comment sections and fighting with them, to the point where she's now even saying that she's gonna take legal action. Like, freaking
Idiot!
you're a doctor? Ha! And then Sevon goes off with a bunch of different crap. I guess you sucked a cock for that PhD. Okay. Oh, Patrick Clark. Did you ask your lawyer what the legal definition of defamation is? Patrick, it's a comment section. And then there's this one from Benji, who states that desire for honesty around steroids is fair, and the exact reason that there are already systems in place to weed out those who are actually taking performance-enhancing substances. But those systems suck, Benji. Don't use that to fight these people on the internet, because they'll come back with the knowledge that those systems suck, which they do. Bad point, Benji. And then he states, your continued attack on people trying to defend a 21-year-old woman on the internet, and the slander around inappropriate relationships, education levels, and your general negative demeanor when your hate comment was addressed is unacceptable and childish, which I agree. Why can't everybody just have a good time? Sure, make a comment about how they're on steroids. But then the way that Alex, the 21-year-old, comes to my comment section of my YouTube video and says, clearly I'm on steroids, just snuffs the stupid thing out. How hard was that? Play into it. But that comment section was nuts. And that brings me to my photo album of Alex Gazan.
We're gonna hang out, I'm gonna watch a movie, I'm gonna take some pictures, and then I'll pay you.
Starting with this video from February 19th, 2015. We just found out that she is 21 years old right now in 2023. So if we subtract 8 years from that, February of 2015, maybe 7 years, then she would be what? 14 in this video. And you can see that she's got strong looking arms. Look at those things. They're freaking jacked. And here's the thing about dancers and gymnasts. There's something about the way that they can use their core to extremity. Everyone knows what that is, right? Core to extremity. To then move outside objects, either efficiently or for load. And it's something that if you've worked with athletes and then they say, hey, I was a dancer, I was a gymnast. You go, it's just amazing how you can use your hips and your core and whatever musculature around your midsection to do the things that you're asking those things to do when moving outside objects. It's nuts. Alex Gazan can clearly do that. And then we have something from the 15th of March in 2016, so about a year later. And look at her shoulder cap. She's not like flexing. There's no crazy sort of editing done on this thing. It looks like it was shot on one of those Polaroids. And she's just winding up to whip a freaking lacrosse stick, which I hear is actually really popular. I just thought it was Teen Wolf that made the lacrosse game popular. But 371 weeks ago, this 14, 15-year-old chick looks pretty jacked. And then we got something with Jake Gazan. They're both flexing. Jake's striated. Look at those freaking shoulders. Then also, 253 weeks ago, 2018, 5 years ago, that would make her 16 years old. Look at her arms. Look at that tiger. They're great. Come on. You see where I'm going with this, right? The biggest thing that I tried to state in the Tia Toomey video, where I didn't think that she was natural, I tried to pinpoint the exact time where I thought that there was a distinct change in her body composition along with her performance metrics. I'm like, something went on here. It doesn't make any sense. But what you're going to see time and time again is we have another picture, September 2018. She's finishing second place in what was her first whatever CrossFit competition 240 weeks ago. And I can show you every single freaking thing that I have here, but it might take 10 hours. 242 pound front squat. 2019, 4 years ago, 19 years old. That's heavy. That's definitely more than I could do as probably even a 20-year-old man. And hey, we know this shark. That's the freaking Wadapalooza shark. This is the first edited up picture that I could find. 197 weeks ago, 2019, probably 19 years old. And when they edit it, they can like pull the cuts into your abs. I'm not quite savvy enough with the camera and how to do that stuff yet, but it looks cool. And she looks more muscular than she ever has in any of those other pictures. But I'd bet that even in that lacrosse picture, you could make 15-year-old Gazan look shredded. Here is her completing 20.4, and she's able to squat, clean, and jerk 205 pounds. And then here is where I'm gonna throw in a bench press compilation. The first thing that I did, and I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, when Alexis brought up, hey, do you know this Alex Willis chick? She put up a crazy heavy bench press, out of control, way more than I'd ever seen before. I just started scrolling because that's what you do. You go and check out what they've been capable of in a previous life. 225 pounds, 234 weeks ago, 5 or so years ago. You have a 16-year-old girl, 225 pounds. That's like the check mark. Men who go work out in high school, it's like, okay, we're gonna go to the gym, we're gonna see who can bench press 225. She's in high school, probably a sophomore or a junior, 225. Imagine being a guy in high school, working towards the thing. You look over and Gazan's doing it, and it looks great. It doesn't look like the sort of stuff that you see when I was in high school, and they're like throwing their hips all over the place. And then I have another one here. It's 2019. Here you go, 230 pounds. It brings me to the video where I was gonna show you 121 weeks ago, 240 pounds. And now we have some pictures of her, June 16th, 2022. In the first video, I brought up her dancing around and stuff, and I brought up how the core in these people are usually rather strong. You see it here. And we've also talked about doctoring up pictures. Not really something of maybe 8 years ago, but very much something of present day, especially when you're an athlete of this stature. So when you see pictures of Gazan, they're gonna look kinda wild. They're gonna look really jacked. Here she is without a pump with that person that people were calling a creep. It's Kotler. He's not a creep, he's her coach. He just knows everything about her. And of course he's going to defend her in a comment section the way that he did. But look at her there. Just looks like a chick. No crazy giant legs. I mean, they're strong. We've seen that they're strong, and we see that she's got core definition, but in this picture, I bet is edited. You can tell, but without a pump, just some strong looking girl. And then you go to the next picture, and she looks like a freaking brick crap house. A brick crap house. But those delts that she's got are the same ones that she had when she was a freaking lacrosse player. 14-year-old lacrosse player. But this time there's downlighting. She's in the middle of a workout. There's a difference when you're pumped up, when you're warm, there's blood in the muscle versus just hanging out with Kotler getting ready for the CrossFit games. And then in the beginning of this, I brought up a front squat where she was able to do 240 pounds, and that was maybe when she was 16 years old. Fast forward to the point in time where she's been lifting for 5 years straight, and she can hit a 265-pound squat clean, and that makes sense too. This picture is nuts. It's her, Carrie, and Ariel. If you were to just look at this thing, sit back, and you were to be fitness doctor whatever, you're just looking at this, and you go, okay, these people are on steroids.
Is that what you think? You think?
But if you took 3 seconds out of your life, and depending on how good your Wi-Fi or LTE service is, and scroll back a little bit, you just go, oh, this chick's been doing this a long time, and this is what she looked like when she was 14 years old. I get it now. So that when you see this 270-pound bench press in slides, which is what CrossFit put up, and everyone was like, she did it in slides, it like barely makes a difference. And I say that because she's not even really using her legs to the greatest extent that she could be. If Gazan spent some time benching, which I already brought up somewhere in here, it doesn't really matter that much to what her bench press could be. I asked her if she could do a competition. She said Kotler won't let her because she gets too sore, and then he ended up letting her, so she took second in my bench press competition because she's just a great bench presser, but she could be the best.
We are who we choose to be.
I want to end this with a couple of things. Apparently, the world record for a woman on the bench press in the 72 kilogram weight class is 125 kilograms, which is only 5 more than Gazan did in that. This is just world powerlifting. They've got so many different divisions, I never know. Maybe the IPA, that looks more, nope, that's a man. I don't know, I can't find it. But I really wish she could see what she could top out at. People want to see what Guimel Harris can snatch and clean and jerk, but whatever, I don't care.
Wow.
I want to see how much Alex Gazan can bench.
Gotta give the people what they want.
And if she found out how to actually use her feet, then the slides would matter, but they're just kind of sitting there. She doesn't even have like the greatest base of support. What you can see is that she's really got her lats engaged. And you've waited around this whole time because I said, hey, Tia Toomey, put a gun to my head. What do I think? And I said, pull the trigger if she's natural. I'm like, all right, that's where I feel about it. That's my opinion on that matter. I wouldn't say that I'm as certain, but I would say that she's natural. How certain am I that Alex Gazan is a natural athlete? 85%. Because you can never be 100% certain. I'm not even certain that what I'm drinking right here is water. Like, what is this? Well, it's only 98% water and it's 2% plastic. And if you can look through all of that, and if you want to agree with idiot freaking doctor lady on the internet in the comment section, feel free to. And if you don't like the way that I pointed out every single case in point, there was no sort of like super jump, and I didn't even get into her performance because, to be honest, there really isn't all that much of it. Maybe I should. I have it pulled up right here. She did the Open as a teenager, 16, 17. She finished in the world as a 17-year-old 21st, which is pretty freaking good. And then once she got into the Open category, her first year, 2020, she was 90,000th. And then the next year, 2021, she went at 317, 193, and then 5th worldwide. You might say that 193 to 5th is a huge performance jump, but I don't think so. In the quarterfinals, she went from 94th in 2021 to 12th to 2nd. And this is just what happens when you're this age with this amount of potential and this much talent. It's completely different than the Tia Toomey situation, where she goes from being pretty good at the games and looking a certain way at the games to all of a sudden dominating the games and looking like an entirely different human being. Alex Gazan, 16th in her first semifinal to 4th the next year. It makes sense. I wouldn't be shocked if she wins the semifinal she competes at this year. Please share your feelings, comments, concerns in the comments section. This always ends up being one of those videos where I always want people not in the CrossFit world to come and watch these things, but the ones that people come and watch are the Natty or Nots. So welcome to the CrossFit world. Prepare to get fought. Andrew Hiller, out.
Please smash that like button, no one touches there, and I'll see you later.